So it's no secret that Batman has a huge plethora of cancelled projects, from a Damian Wayne Batman game, a Wii port of Arkham Asylum, a Gotham by Gaslight game, and 2 games based on the Nolan Batman movies. It seems Batman has more lost projects than any other superhero. Well, we can add another Batman game to the list, as back in the early 2000s, the Saints Row developers Volition was working on a stealth-based Batman title for the PlayStation 2, thanks to an individual that worked at Volition who provided the footage to the channel Did You Know Gaming. We do get a brief glimpse on what this title would have been like.
Batman demo from September 29, 2003. This demo was developed by Volition, a THQ studio.
So after the release of Volition's Red Faction 2, they began development on several projects. One of these projects was a pseudo open-world heist game called Underground, where players would take on the role of a thief in early 2000s London. The game seemed to take on a cartoony art style, and gameplay-wise, it seemed to be very akin to other stealth action titles like the first Splinter Cell. However, unfortunately, the project seemed to lack any concrete direction, and with the release of GTA 3, the marketing team felt that Underground would feel inferior as an open-world crime title. With Underground's cancellation, the ashes and skeleton of the project would be repurposed by a handful of developers to create a different kind of project entirely, a Batman-based title that Volition hoped to tie in to some kind of Batman film. Considering the time period of the early 2000s, this most likely would have tied into Nolan's Batman Begins.
Here we see Batman using an electronic infiltration device to bypass a security lock.
At its core, Volition's Batman game would have been a primarily stealth-based title centering on Batman infiltrating different areas and using his wide variety of gadgets to help him out. There was a grapple hook which could be used to launch towards different areas, swing across the map, which could be used as a melee attack, or shimmy through environments. The Batarang was a projectile that could hit enemies from afar, and the grenade was used to knock out enemies quickly. There was also stealth takedowns, which forced players into a short cutscene. As you can already tell by now, the demo was basically a one-to-one copy of the Underground game demo, as if you remember, the skeleton of this game was used to create the Batman game as well, explaining why the stealth and infiltration is such a core part of the demo. As a result of borrowing from Underground, this title would have likely also been a pseudo open-world game. Underground was primarily a stealth game, but this does not mean that this Batman game would have been one as well. Remember, this was a demo put together pretty quickly, so I imagine that if it was placed into full development, the project would have undergone a massive overhaul to fit more in line with the action-oriented nature of the character. Despite the effort placed into Volition's Batman game, the project would be shelved entirely sometime in 2003. Luckily, the game Underground would not be lost forever, as the spiritual successor to the title, Saints Row, would release a few years later.